Good evening, good afternoon, good night, good morning. Oh my goodness, I've lost it. I've lost the plot already. Wherever, whenever you're watching this, welcome to the Power Platform Today show. I have got I'm going to say hero. I know he's going to be upset by that, but I'm going to say it. He's a hero of mine in the community, and I'm going to try the name properly. So I have with me Jonas Rapp.
And sort of good.
Excellent. Well, welcome. You are live. Please say it properly and introduce yourself to those who might not know you.
Well, hello everyone. I am Jonas Rapp, as we say in Swedish, or Jonas Rapp, or whatever you want to do. I know who I am, and it's really great to be here, Reese, for inviting me for this little chat.
Thank you. I know it's late where you are. It's later than. See, it's a good point. So I start this at 9 o'clock UK time because that is after my son is asleep. Usually, every now and again he does bat the wall, but it's fine. But for you being an hour ahead, it's 10 o'clock where you are. So I appreciate that it is later.
It is.
So welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here. By the way, when you invited me, you said you were doing at 9 UTC. In that case, that would mean 11 p.m. in Swedish summertime. But UTC and GMT is not the same thing. But anyway.
Time zones are a pain. For developers as well, time zones are a right pain in the rear end.
UTC,
that's stupid 11 o'clock. Yeah, it would be nice if everyone could just agree, use that for everything.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, the community is better for you being in it. How did you start? What was your entry into the world of Power Platform community? What is it to you?
The community, I think it came not for like going to conferences or doing my presentation, more like through the tools that I've created only because I need those tools. And then I just started to share if anyone else want to use it. So I guess that's the way into the community. Yeah, but I mean, I started in the Dynamics CRM 2009. Before that, I've been a consultant since forever, like 85, 86. I was starting to be a consultant.
Seriously?
Yeah, I am very, very old.
You don't look that old.
You're too nice. So I was never working with Microsoft stuff. I was working with Delphi and that type of development.
Okay.
And then one day I met an old colleague and said, "Hey, do you want to come into our company?" And during my private life, it was time to move on. I said, "What are you working with?" I asked them. I said, "Never mind. I don't care. You don't want to go there." So then I got into Dynamics CRM area. So, I liked it. And I mean, from going to being a developer for like whole my life, and I was developing application and stuff that are no one is using or a lot of people are using. It was a very crucial app or program or so on. And I was doing it from scratch. Well, me and my colleagues, like, started with the SQL servers, setting up the databases and stuff, and then starting to create sometime our UI and so on. And that's kind of boring. It takes so long time just to sort of setting up what we actually want to build.
Yeah,
so that's why I was lost or hicked up with the Dynamics area, where we just say, I want to have this table. I don't need to create a table, blah, 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 and do it manually like that. So in that case, that's why I'm still in this area.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that is interesting. Okay, so 2009. So that's not actually as far back as I thought it would be. So you must have got into tool making from the very beginning, because the FetchXML. Okay, so FetchXML builder.
And I'm sorry about the name. It's impossible to say that and do it fastly. Yeah, you have to look at that. FetchX. Okay, thank you.
But the thing is, you didn't name that. That was Microsoft that called that. You just had a builder on the end. So it's them that screwed that up.
Yeah, that's bad.
But I mean, that tool, as like I put in the post on LinkedIn earlier, that is the first tool I can remember actually using from the community. The second tool would have been the Ribbon Workbench. So those two tools absolutely were part and parcel of everything I did. I mean, up until I still use FetchXML Builder, and I'll go into it in a bit, but I'm amazed at how often you update it.
Yeah.
You put in a lot of effort on that,
It's
which is
probably
just
because I
impressive.
don't have any hobbies. Or I mean, that's my hobby,
Yeah.
doing that.
Well,
So, and
that
so my wife has been sort of being angry at me because why are you working like you should work 6 hours every day currently since I'm working 20 or 75% of the time. It's like "Well, you're in front of the computer for like 14 hours. Yeah, but I'm relaxed sort of doing small things with my tools and stuff. So no, I have no hobby, no fantasy or something. That's, but I mean
okay.
the first sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that that's actually that is good, I think, to know because I'm I'm amazed at the productivity that it looks like you have, and you do. I mean, you've got what 15 tools? I
Something
think
like
that's what
that.
your LinkedIn bio says anyway.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's the Fetch XML builder for me and the trace log viewer. Oh, the trace log viewer is another beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that it keeps getting updated, and these are not simple tools, like the feature set of the Fetch XML builder is vast. There's a lot you've put into that. And I know it's been years, but there's a lot in there.
Only 11 years.
But this is the
No,
thing, I
but I
mean,
mean,
to
my
keep that
first,
up is
but I would
amazing.
say, like, want to say that my first sort of this open source tool, I don't think it's open source of the code, but the tool was available, was Stunware,
Right.
which was working until CRM 2011. But then with the switch in for 2011 to 2030, I believe it was like that. It's ages ago, where Microsoft changed the libraries we were using for it. Something very roughly at this time. I can say it late in the evening. That's why I can't really say it what it was. What was changed. But then and this is done where they didn't update it for that one, and that one needed off. I need this something to create the fetch XML because that's so boring to do it manually.
Yeah.
So that's how I started.
Yeah. So what we're saying in terms of the amount of effort. So how much time would you say you put into developing the tools?
Well,
Not
no.
overall, not overall. I mean, consistently, like on a weekly, monthly basis.
Uh,
Like, are you
okay.
talking like because you said 14-hour
But yeah, but
days, but
it depends a lot depending on what I'm hooked up on,
yeah,
in which type of area and which type of tool and so on. Which means some tools then where I now and then say, oh, I have to update it. I've got some bugs and so on, or feature requests and so on, and do it because I want to be nice. And since I'm sort of getting a lot of users, then I have to give something back also. Not just, I mean, it's too common that people are just disappear from the world where they have created tools and they should update it and I should read the issues from GitHub, but they don't. And that's annoying. And I don't want to be one of those guys. But I mean, the last like 2 months, then I've been working a lot, I say within quotes, with the FetchXML builder. Oh, I said that pretty fast.
you did, you
FetchXML,
really did.
was it like, yeah,
Years of
pretty
practice.
fast? Because I wanted to get it to make a new release, which I did yesterday. And since it's been really fun to be working with an ex-colleague, Andreas, who just we just ran into each other. Well, not physically, but on LinkedIn, and he knows about the AI stuff since he's been reading a lot about it and testing it on very different topics and so on, and then sort of doing that in FetchXML Builder. So it's been really fun time to do that. Then it was during vacation now and then. Now I was in Santorini for a week, and now Andreas was in Croatia for a week and so on. But but still, it's hard to sort of don't go look at team to see what you have done now. So that's been real fun. And yeah, but I can't say hours, maybe 20, 40 hours for a week. Oh, 20, maybe. Not 40. Wow.
That's a fair chunk of time. So, because I'm interested. So, one of the things when I talk to people on this show, a big part of it is how did you get into the community? What did you start with? And so, a bunch of people say they went to user groups, they started user groups, they go to conferences, they talk. For you, it's absolutely tools. So, you were creating tools. Was that how people got to know you? Was just you creating tools, or were you talking to people and then like? A little bit, talk a little bit more about it.
Tengitosar made us a very good platform.
Yeah.
It was actually Tengitosar and an ex-colleague of me, Alexei, and I think even Daryl Labar was involved also about making it possible for anyone to create tools for XM Toolbox.
Yeah.
And when we got so much help for marketing, which means just create a tool, put it there, write some document, and post on the blog or LinkedIn. And so, well, LinkedIn we weren't using 10 years ago, and do it on Facebook. That's so strange, but we did. So we got the platform, and I mean, for Tanguy, everyone should just do this for him because that's wonderful. And even now, before the release, the release with the AI function in FetchXML Builder, it needed to use some newer versions of libraries and so on. And then, after discussion with Tanguy and Andreas, we were including the AI libraries from Microsoft. So it's included in the external toolbox. So now it's even easier for other tools also to starting to infuse it with the AI, which is scary as fuck. But I'm just trying to slowly just trying to sort of embrace it and say, okay, AI is okay. And to find, but the hardest thing for me is to find where should we actually use it, in which case, and so on.
Yeah.
And I think and of course I know most about what with my tool, and I see a lot of cases where it's good to have this AI help. Depends on your own level of your knowledge, and am I bragging now? But to say that I know a bit too much for this to actually get help from AI. If you know less of the FetchXML, well, then it might be great to have this use AI to create queries instead of using it with a query builder.
Yeah, I think that is the challenge, isn't it? With AI is a fantastic tool in many ways, but like any tool, you can use it incorrectly. It's quite easy to use incorrectly. And it is about finding the right use case that isn't just a gimmick, something that looks kind of cool. And that is the challenge, I think, of implementing AI and using it. I find prompting, I know a few years back, prompt engineering was a thing that everyone was talking about. And it was always about, there's going to be jobs for prompt engineers. I don't think it transpired that there were necessarily that many jobs or at least long-term jobs for prompt engineers. But there's definitely something in learning how to use AI with the correct prompts. Because the difference between a good prompt and a bad prompt is vast when using AI. And I have to keep reminding myself, I have to treat it like a really, really, really smart baby.
Yeah.
It's got loads of knowledge, but it doesn't know how to apply it without you telling what you want it to do in terms of specifically, especially in a technical world.
Yeah. So is that why you always say please?
I always say please because I'm just a nice
can
person.
You give me this query? Oh, thank you so much. And that's like, it's not a person, it's just a bot. Why are we sort of expending tokens just to say please as well? But I mean, this, I know it's very far from where it should be usable, but I was just, when I've been testing it back and forth, and I'm talking to it in Swedish, and I was trying something in German, which I'm bad at, and so on, just to see it responds to me in the way it should, and so on. But also with your style. So if I start my yo, what's up? Then it'll say, whoa, yo, whoa, says the AI. So they have the same sort of, so we're talking together in the same level, which is kind of fun, but well, that doesn't help us at work anything.
No, I think it would. I've not tried it yet in the FetchXML builder, so I need to go and try that.
What? It was released like 1 day ago.
Funnily enough, I wasn't even using it 1 day ago, but I have obviously got the update.
Well,
I will definitely go.
I just have to say, I was pretty surprised that I got a blog post about how to use AI in FetchXML Builder this afternoon. It was like less than 1 day since I released it.
I mean, that is impressive. I did see that on LinkedIn. There was a post on that, so I need to go and read it. But I think that where it might be quite interesting to use, and I don't know how feasible it is, but there's a lot of metadata in the background. And you get that metadata when you get all the tables, entities, columns, all of that. Part of the metadata tells you what fields are on forms or what columns are on forms. What would be really interesting is for the AI to use that to tell you whether or not the query that you've built is actually going to be relevant or not. Because it could say that field that you've requested, it doesn't exist on any form, so it might not be the field you're actually after. The field that's roughly similar that is on a form is actually this one. Is that what you meant? That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When it actually understands that also, how far away is that? Half a year, 5 year, 20 years, or never?
It's now. I'm sure it knows that. I'm sure it would be able to. If you just feed it the metadata and just say, that's all the metadata, it will be able to work that out. But yeah, it just depends on how you surface that back to the user. Because this is the thing. I think it's very easy to use AI as is now in a chat form. So I can just throw in a chat box and it goes back and forth. And that's easy to build, technically. Is it the right use everywhere? Not so sure. If you look at what Microsoft's doing with the Copilot embedded in Dataverse forms, in model-driven app forms, I don't like that either because it's just getting in the way. It's too opinionated and keeps coming up with prompts when it doesn't help me. Now, I'm not a user of the system, so I'm a developer of the system. As a result, it gets in my way. I don't actually know from a user perspective if it is useful. But I think that this is the thing with AI, is trying to work out where you fit it into the sausage. How do you build it in?
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a go.
But it's also like something that I was kind of annoying at some time when I was testing it. But I mean, the AI have no idea about the data. It knows about the metadata for the standard tables and so on, and I produce it with my custom tables and columns, but it has no idea what the data is, because that's not. Yeah.
When I was saying that, I thought that you were feeding that into the AI, but that's a good point. Actually, the metadata is a lot of data there.
Which mean, and I mean, I can get the AI to say, yeah, execute it, sort of to get the data, but all it does is do it basically like F5 in FetchXML Builder. So it will execute it, but the data is never close to the AI, to the cloud or wherever it's living, to the God. so it doesn't know that, and sometimes it's annoying as hell because you want to no, I don't want this person that starts with a G. I want blah blah blah, and it can filter for it, but it doesn't know the data. So when it actually retrieve the data, it doesn't retrieve it. It says to FetchXML Builder to retrieve it. And just maybe I should probably say that very clearly also, that I mean, from the beginning, I like statistics and to logging things. And I'm logging when you're using the AI features and so on, but not with what you're writing to it. because that would take too much to read through if you log in it. But just some stats. There's one question, or when you're just closing external toolbox, it would just log, okay, you was asking 33 times. Okay, so what? So we can never not use it for anything, of course. And the AI doesn't know data. And my logging is just to see, is it popular to use this or not, and so on. And also, I mean, the stats is also used to see, okay, because some awesome features that I've created is no one using. Okay, maybe I shouldn't put my life into that feature and sort of put more hours into that, just to make sure that, since I like to have happy customers, no, not customer, users, no customers. So if I could sort of create another feature that you actually using it, then that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. So I would say we first met certainly virtually on the podcast that you did with Daryl Labar back in the day, the XRM Toolcast, which I know does still go on. It's not the same without you. I was a guest on that show, and I still remember one of the things that came up on there was both of you were asking for people to give feedback, because that's, as tool makers, especially tool makers that are actively building the tools, you need the feedback. You need people to say what is working, what isn't working, raising issues in GitHub. Do you find that people are actively raising issues in GitHub or not? Do you get quite a lot of feedback in that way?
Well, when I'm looking at how many users I have, it's like 6,000 or 7,000 every day.
Jeez.
And the feedback I get is one every month, which means it's basically zero of
It's a perfect
feedback
tool.
and so on. But I mean, maybe it's perfect. It can never get better. That's why I won't give any feedback. No, that's so. But when we're using it, I mean, if we're using it just because it's fun to use these tools, then we are doing it at the free time. Then we have time to do that, and we want to actually make the tools evolve to be even better and so on. But and this kind of makes me a bit annoyed, because we're only using these tools on our work days.
Yeah.
We're using it for my boss to that I can do things faster. So maybe it's just money for the company, which means in that case, I'm thinking about how am I working? Should I give a great feedback for this or that, or get a new idea for new feature and so on? Well, when I'm working, I don't have time to do that, which means, well, you're doing it at your work, but you're doing it for free because there's a nice guy in Sweden who created a tool to use for free. Oh, move on now before I say something bad.
I suppose that is interesting, because it is. I mean, I've not put any feedback in, and there's definitely been issues that I've had. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but it's definitely been around OData. There's some OData stuff in there that, in fact, I'm going to go off and find that at some point this week, and I'll feed that back to you. There's definitely something
that's great if you do it about OData, because then I will just forward it to Mark Carrington, because he has created that one, who's converted it from FetchXML to OData. I tried to do it in the beginning, and I had it, but it was very manually done and so on. And then Mark said he has done it in some other cases, and so it's his code that is doing that.
So that I suppose that brings us to another part of it. So we're talking community. So you produce a tool that the community users have done for over a decade now, but like you say, it's not just you. It exists on a platform that was created in the form of XRM Toolbox. You've got people that contribute to it. I assume Daryl Labar has also put something in there, because I know there's some feature in there that isn't complete. I found it quite funny. I went to go and click it recently because I was actually interested in the early bound entity generation side of it, and it said, if you want this feature, then rate and tell us. So there's lots of people that have committed to it. So how can anyone that's listening to this, if they are tech and they want to go off and add a new feature and they want to go and, I don't know, add the latest and greatest stuff, I can't even think what, how would they go about doing it? What should they do?
If you're thinking about adding a feature to my tools or so, well, call me. No, don't call me, but send me an email or find me on LinkedIn or whatever. Or just create an issue or for this discussion on GitHub, or even if you actually had an idea and you're trying on your own side to sort of develop it, well, give me a pull request. And then we can actually, then I might just say, if it's perfect, then I will just merge it and it's included in the tool or so. So, and it isn't hard. I mean, you don't have to go through and sign some documents or whatever. We don't, it's very much open source community thing. So we try to, sharing is caring, helping each other and so on.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, again, for at least for me, I have some features or bug reports to External Toolbox, the platform, or to something for Darlabar's early bound generator. I could fix it, but I don't do it. I usually just create an issue. And of course, I know that since I'm in this world, we'd love to get someone we know who really knows a bit about how we develop this stuff. If I get a pull request, I would love it. And I should also give you guys a pull request. I've done a few, of course, but to my bad conscience, I should do that a bit more.
I mean, as you say, it's hard, and especially when it's someone else's code, it's not your baby. It doesn't mean quite as much, and you've got enough babies as it is, both plugins and family in the real world.
No, yeah, for real. Yeah, I have some real kids also.
You do. I remember talking to you about them at Scottish Summit. I'm intrigued. Is one of them still doing the professional gaming thing, or is he?
No. He took time out.
Right.
3 years ago, and he's still on a timeout. So no one is doing the esport for real life, but they're doing it for fun. Some of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
So going back again to early days, so you were creating the tools, and at that point, when did you start getting into speaking? Because your style, your ability in presentations, I find mesmerizing in many ways. You're a natural speaker. Now, I say that after seeing you speak, after many years of having seen you. So you've been speaking before that point. Jeez, I can't even get my words out. You come across naturally and confident when you're up there. So you've obviously had lots of experience. But when did you start actually speaking at conferences and events? What got you into that?
When I started for real was in 2017.
Okay.
January in London, when Raz invited me to go there, and I also in that case also I don't have any idea why, but he said that he come and talk about whatever, and then it was just the early days of my tools and so on. Then I was just talking about the External Toolbox and different tools and so on, because that's my home turf, so I know about those.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't understand why people like you just did that. I'm so good at speaking. I don't know why, but I would say the only thing I can say is just be honest, just be yourself. Makes life so much easier. Like also when I have some opinions on in which direction Microsoft is going or any other stuff, I say what I think. And I've heard some colleagues out there that when they're too honest, they get kicked out of the MVP program and so on. But if that may be so, but it just makes my life so much easier if I just have to say, okay, now I'm going to go in and talk to this audience, and then I have to do it like this, and they are only COT, CCO, whatever it's called, some bosses or whatever, who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
But okay, a bit of that. If we go into a very technical session and I just see that a lot of people are on level 100, then of course we have to adjust a bit for that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, just say what you want to say. That's so much easier. And like in general for your life, just be honest. It's like, yes, I know at one time we're going over to the problems I've had like 4 or 5 years ago when I got a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
There are so strange many people that they are just trying to cover it up. Trying to, okay, if I, like for me, when my leg and my arm were lost or it was really bad, and they're trying, okay, I will never walk in front of people because then they will see that. I was like, wow, making your life, I mean, you're going through something really hard and you're doing everything you can to make it even harder.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. No, that's... There's a few things I want to pick up on that. First of all, going back to the sort of your style, I think that's probably, certainly for me, that's what connects. The way you speak, your presentation style. I think it's also because you stick to topics and in areas that you know well. You have confidence, so there's that.
Because I'm a coward.
No, I think it's a good. I think it's a good way of doing it. I think everyone has a different way of doing things, and I do it the same way. So for me, I will only really talk about something I've spent time doing. I don't feel comfortable talking about something that I don't know. I don't like. Some people will do that. They'll just put together a deck based on someone else's stuff and present. I don't want to do that. I want to talk about my experiences. That's my way of talking. And maybe that's why I connect so much with yours, because that's how you talk. Like your presentation and your style is about taking your experience and giving the audience something useful out of that. So your build a tool talk is brilliant because you stand up and you just say, let's build a tool together. And it's like improv. You just take it from the audience and you start building an XRM toolbox. But you have the capability to do that.
Yeah, but trying to, so it should look like we are doing naturally, what should we do? Let's do that. But it takes a lot of hours behind it before. So you have to prepare and everything. And a few years ago, I was doing that type of, let's create an XRM toolbox tool. And then I was very much on thin ice because I was like, okay, what should we do? When I asked the audience, then I don't do that anymore, basically because of my aphasia I have now. Yeah. So if I cannot just keep it up or pick it up what you were asking, so right now, but I might go into that in the future sometime.
Well, so let's switch over to the stroke. So that was,
but I have to go back. You're talking about my style when I'm speaking.
Yes.
I have effing no idea what the style I have.
It's your manner.
Just being me.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's that authenticity. Your authentic self is a well-spoken and entertaining person. And I think that's what it is. It's the way you speak, the way you engage with an audience is entertaining. You are a funny guy, but you also produce great content when you're talking. What you're talking about, what the experiences you have come across well in your presentation. So that's what I mean. And that kind of, I think, brings us nicely to after the stroke. So
I'm sorry. I'm still there at that topic. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, you want to give something to the audience. If you want to learn them how to build a plugin, we can read the documentation, or we go look at the YouTube and see. You can see that in like 40,000 places.
Yep.
So when we're actually going to Prague or going to Slovenia or whatever you're going, you have to give them something more than just the knowledge, which means you have to be which is hard for me also, but to be an entertainment. doing that instead. So it's actually something. If the audience would say, can I see that on YouTube? Well, sorry, we didn't record it because it would never be good to look at it through YouTube or something. And you can find it for other guys who have created those videos and so on. So it has to give something more, not just the knowledge, the tiny knowledge that I can share. So, and that's not enough to be going to across the world to be speaking.
That's really interesting. So you take the approach that anything that you're presenting has to be exactly what you just said, more than the actual knowledge. So there's an element. So you are putting on a performance. You're actively trying to do that. Because for me,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't come across that way.
It has to be. Otherwise, why the F are you going across the world for those who are speaking? Why are you going across just to say, hey, do this, da da blah blah blah? Boring. Or why are you going to go listen to that session?
But the thing is, so on the entertainment value side of things, I don't think that a presentation at a conference has to be entertaining, but it does have to have something that is useful to listen to.
Yeah.
What I say is that your mannerisms bring that entertainment to it, because I think you are an entertaining and engaging person. And I know that from having spent some time with you after the presentation. So not just at a presentation, actually drinking and having dinner with you. I got that from you in that environment as well. So I think naturally you bring that to the presentations, but you have a certain work ethic in terms of the actual presentation itself. You are actively trying to put across a lot more in that than it sort of is on paper. And I think that's different. I don't think everyone does that.
But if we flip on the topic, or the same topic, but we flip on it, say, when I'm going to do a presentation, what can I do that you cannot find anywhere else? That's your goal. Sort of. Otherwise, you can go to whatever other session and go, like I said, go reading the docs or looking at the videos and so on. I want to give you should always have the goal to give you something more to the audience.
That is, I agree. I do agree. I think I feel like you're setting quite a high bar for yourself, because that must be, because you mentioned it before, there's the curse of the expert. So when you have a certain amount of knowledge, it's really hard to imagine that other people don't have that. It's really hard to put yourself back in the shoes of someone that's brand new, and so in that world, your presentations could be well above the knowledge of most of the people in the room. So I suppose in terms of that, if you're trying to give something to them that they wouldn't have anywhere else, I feel like you're putting yourself at a very high bar. That's not a bad thing. I just think that's an interesting comment on your approach to the presentations.
Yeah, but I mean, if we put the bar up there, well, if we only get this high, well, that's better to trying to go that than to just be safe and do everything down here.
Yeah,
that's boring. For instance, it's like something my dad told me when I was young. It's like someone asked him, did you have a good vacation, or are you just happy with it? And I kind of put the right words in English, nöjd, as we say in Swedish. So it was good, but good sounds boring, but like that. I'm pleased. Well, you could say that I'm pleased by the vacation or the conference we went to, or my life and my wife or whatever. If we're just okay, that's like, well, then it's just time to go and die. We want to aim higher. Of course, we want to have even better vacation next year, and I want to give even more to my pupils since he was in school and so on. We want to give more and to get more. Wow. So otherwise, I'm pleased with that. Well, okay, now you're happy, go die. Not to be mean, but it's like you have to have some goals, aim somewhere.
That is. That is very. So I was thinking as you were saying that, one thing that that came to mind was this thing that whenever, especially in the Western world, mostly in America, you know, the greeting is, "Hi, how you doing?" You must hate that because the expected thing is, "Great, thanks," and then move on.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of mean. So if you ask me, hi, how are you? Then I go, okay, you want to know? Well, this happened last weekend. This, my wife is doing this, and blah 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 blah. And why is the milk so expensive today? Otherwise decent.
I love it.
I was like, well, oh, I just said hi. No, I didn't say hi. You asked me how I am.
It's very specific. Yeah, I've always found that funny that's the greeting, and it's the expectation is just, yeah, great, how are you? Good, thanks. Right, let's move on and talk. I find that
You
actually
sound
very
like Delabar, or who was it?
yeah.
Well, he's doing dinner currently, so he isn't listening.
He might be listening on catch up.
Too bad.
Yeah, that's where was I going to go with that? I just lost my entire train. All right, let's delve into stroke territory.
Yes.
So it was 2020, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah.
16th of February at 1748 or something. That's when I got the big hit. When I was asked at the hospital, which was very lucky for me, because the doctors were very close and fixed whatever they wanted to do in my brain, so I got it to be working decently again. Yeah.
Yeah. So stroke is so it's a blood clot essentially in the brain, and there's lots of different types of strokes, but that's
Yeah, exactly. And I got the one where I don't even know how we pronounce it in English, where it was blocked so that I wasn't bleeding, but it was stuck here and there. I think it was like 3 big, like the blood doesn't move through that somewhere, which means it's, well, some part of this left side of my brain is dead. And unfortunately, one part of it is my language center. And it feels, I feel like sometimes that the God or the devil one doing it just to mean me, because since I like languages. I like to, or I haven't really thought about that before, but I like to formulate not like the classic way to be speaking, but to find more words doing that. So instead of finding more words, I lost all of them. That's kind of annoying, and I lost my leg and so on. I like to be. I'm a physical moving person. I like to go skiing and go running and well. So got some great challenges since maybe my life was too good.
that's one way to look at it. I mean, so after that, I know it was a long journey to come back to where you are now. In terms of where you are now, what's the capability now? Are you able to go skiing? Will you ever go skiing again? Is that something that you're going to be able to do?
Yeah, I've been skiing 3 years.
Oh, nice.
I've been skiing. So, and the first year in 2023, then was like, we went back to my home skiing place, Hemavan in north of Sweden, and let's just be there a few days, and maybe we'll just be sitting in the like at the cafe and having coffee and looking at the skis. But well, we tried to put on the shoes and tried to put on the skis and well, tried to went up like halfway from the lift, and that year it was really hard because by then my right hand was completely dead. So I couldn't move it at all, which I can now. Woo!
Excellent.
And my leg was also very much weak and so on. So I couldn't trust it, which means, I mean, I was from me, I was quite decent skier before that, And so it's like, okay, it's good I have the experience of how we are skiing. So then I got the, okay, how should I really to handle it? So what should I need to do well when I couldn't ski the way I wanted to and so on.
Yeah.
So, well, but it's going better and better. So it's getting better and better now. It's still, and I think it's going in a few periods where there are a lot of improvements, and then it's pretty much the status quo for a while and so on. But I haven't given up anything. And actually, this weekend me and my wife went to some friends who has a boat, and we went out to the archipelago, and just for a day, I was like, oh, it was lovely, and it's like it hurts my heart, and Linda, my wife, as well, because we love to be going sailing and so on. So, well, 1 year we will have a new sailing boat or so.
That's amazing. I mean, just your approach to, I think life in general, but the stroke, that's obviously come through that. So during that recovery period after the stroke and that sort of time after, what got you through? What was the thing was there something you focused on? Was there,
Yeah,
like, what?
I think it was like first time after my stroke when I met my wife, because she came into the hotel, and that was during COVID time, so which meant we could hardly not see each other. When at that time I couldn't speak anything. Was and now and then I got a cursing words. Those were working excellently, both in Swedish and English for some reason. But anyway, but then she told me that, like, yeah, that's hard, but you're just 49 years. You have a long life left to live. I was like, okay. But also, maybe that would have happened even without what she said, but that has stuck with me. That, it's like, why not? Why should I know people are just saying, okay, then I'll just be sitting in my sofa and watching TV and probably having a lot of whiskey and just giving up. And it doesn't exist. I like to be sitting there having a big whiskey as well, but not always.
Yeah, to be happy rather than to drown out the sorrows.
I've been doing presentation, like I'm doing about my tech stuff, but I've been doing for the other patients and the guys who are working at the hotel, not the hotel, well, let's call it hotel, hospital.
It's like a hotel sometimes.
Yeah, well, no. Well, and just talk about my experience, what I've been going through. And I did it first time, I think it was like half a year after my stroke, where it was really hard to pronounce anything properly. And I've done it recently as well. And I'm trying to find out how the sort of the attitude that I have, I want to sort of to give it so we can see that don't give up.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know why people, like you said, that I'm good as a speaker. I don't know why. I don't know why I've progressed so much after my stroke. Don't know why, but maybe it's like, I'm stupid. I have no option. Why should I do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's. I think it is your mindset. It's absolutely your mentality. The approach that you take to life has obviously come through this as well.
Yeah, and also there's a bit of when you're pushing yourself more than you would really want to do if you're thinking about it. It's like in this weekend when we went out in the archipelago. When I was young, the first time I went from the boat to the island, to a cliff there. Then I got someone's hands to make sure that I didn't just whoops and I was lost. Second time I was like, no, let me try, and I did it. I didn't flip. I didn't go into the ocean or so, but it works. Yeah. And when the others are going to go swimming, well, why should they and not me? So I jumped in me as well, and well, I can swim decently, and it wasn't drowning. So. Which means so you have to sort of push yourself by being a bit stupid.
You have to, yeah, you push yourself out of your comfort zone. Because there's a couple of things I want to go to. One of the things I saw on YouTube, because you documented some of this on YouTube, I saw that the regular sort of almost vlog type content there, but you were talking about it as your second life. I quite like that
Yeah.
because I think that's something that people have a difficulty with. And I struggle with this as a concept. If something was to happen to me, I honestly don't know how I would deal with it because part of me struggles with even the thought of not being able to speak or think or walk. These things right now, as not having any of that, it freaks me out.
But I have two things to say. Is why I was doing like videos and trying to write on my blog and so on, because I wasn't working.
Yeah.
What else should I do? I can't just sit there and watch TV. So what's trying, and that's like didn't really knowing that I was pushing myself, but I was pushing myself, and actually to the speaking, the language, and so on. That's one reason. But the other one, when you talking about that, what's my second life? It's kind of very stupid to say this, but it was very good that I thought that I died during my stroke. I thought that for some reason, I definitely remember the part where everything went black and when I fall down to the floor at the hospital, and I was like, 49 was a quite decent life. Okay, bye-bye. Which means since I came back from that, then I'm really starting from zero.
Yeah.
Which means if I'm having this conversation with you right now, well, maybe I'm worse than I was before, a few years ago. If that we have very much nicer chat we would have. Well, but this is better than nothing. And also, like, I can walk. And I mean, from the beginning, I couldn't be walking at all because for some reason, I lost all my muscles on my right side in my 2-second split that happened. No idea how that works. I mean, they still have the muscles in the body, but no, I know.
Just the brain can't talk to them, yeah.
But everything that is some sort of improvement is a bonus.
Yeah. But that's I think that's again that mentality. I think the people that struggle with it are the people that hang on to their previous life and they think that's me. And that isn't you. At this point, you are a different person. And I think you have to come to terms with that. Which
exactly. And it's good at some scenarios, it's good not to compare to who I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, everyone is getting older. We're all getting worse than we were before.
Yeah.
Until we were like 25 or whenever.
Yeah. No, I mean it's an inspiration, and that that presentation. And again, this is one of the reasons I say you are a good presenter. That presentation you gave at South Coast Summit, which did bring me to tears because the way you did it, and this was still early on in your journey coming back. The way you delivered that
was so hard,
but that's the thing, and you could see that, but it still your personality was coming across. That style, that enthusiasm you had came across. But the thing that I loved more than anything, like the way you delivered, the tempo, the presentation, all of that was great. The slides were brilliant. Now that is where the preparation comes in, I think, because that's the part where we've talked about what else can I give people, and you gave people a show with humor in slides. People talk about PowerPoints like, oh, death by PowerPoint. You had tens of slides, but it was like single word slides, and it was perfectly timed to what you were saying. If I could have recorded that and shared it with people to say, this is how you need to present, this is how you have to think about it, and this is how you go into a presentation. Think about what you're doing.
It is available on YouTube, that recording, but the mic was really bad. So you have to be listening very hard to hear.
Oh, I'm going to have to go. I one of the things I'm terrible for on this is sharing afterwards how people can get in touch and see more stuff about the people. So I'll definitely dig that out, and I'm going to put it on this because I think people have to see it. It's just I don't know. I haven't watched the recording, so I don't know if it's a different experience. But certainly being in the room on the day, it was brilliantly done.
It was a very big thing for me as well, of course, and that was what sort of one of the biggest pushing myself to go there, and it was great. And I got my last day at the rehab where I was going like for a few months. That's my examination sort of, because going home was when I was doing that the rehearse for this session in at the hospital. That was also like one part of it as well, to do that, and well, don't know how I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal. I have to say, I have to commend your wife as well, because I think she did very well protecting you. Because I think that's the thing. Because you, like you said, it was really hard. You were low on energy. After that, you were very low, but everyone wanted to come over and talk to you, and she did such a fantastic job of just controlling that and telling people, no, that's it. We have to be strong. He needs to go and rest. That's it. Because I think if she wasn't there, you probably would have stayed trying to talk to everyone until you collapsed. I just think that's the way you are. So I think that teamwork has obviously really worked as well. Again, community.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, we have reached time. I do like to finish with my rapid fire questions, so we're going to go through those.
Just have to say, we have to do another hour chat about PowerPoints.
I don't want to do an hour about PowerPoints.
Just saying that. That's all.
All right, you do a presentation of PowerPoint. We'll stream it live on here. All right, rapid fire, and we'll finish it there. This has been a fantastic chat. Your favorite Power Platform service?
Power Platform what?
Service. So
service.
Yeah, Power BI, Dataverse, model-driven, like whatever comes to mind.
Can I say Dataverse?
Absolutely, you can.
Or can many people have XRM, which we call it for real, but it's called Dataverse right now.
Yes, that's come up a couple times at least. Yes, absolutely. XRM is perfectly fine. Favorite conference?
It's doesn't exist anything anymore, but Extreme CRM, which was then changed name to Extreme 365. I love that type of content because it was very techy and stuff, and we got all the Matt Barber and stuff was always there in Europe as well. I love that one, and that doesn't exist since then. And some company bought it and just killed it. No names, but we know.
One of the things I love about the rapid fire questions at the end of this is it always comes up with more stuff I want to talk about, but I have to stop. So it's good to have that. So I'm now going to think about that. But all right, last music you can remember listening to.
Music? Usually Röyksopp. Norwegian band.
Yeah, no, they're good. Very good.
Yes.
Podcasts or TV?
Podcast
you can't say neither.
No, well, you mean listening or being on it? Oh. I'm never on the TV.
You're on right now. This is the modern TV.
Oh, well, in that case, I would say TV, but not TV as a TV, but a TV with some streaming.
Yeah. If you had 2 hours with no other responsibility, what would you do?
New tool.
You know what? It's funny. I've asked this now to 20 people, I think it is. And that question, almost always people go, what would I... You were straight in there.
Or maybe it could be doing the lawning, what do you call it, to put out the grass and so. Maybe that just to sort of put it off my brain.
Well, I mean, obviously making tools does that. You said that before, so it's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah.
It's your relaxation place. I like that. That's good. Books or audiobooks?
Books. I'm sorry, because I mean, you mean in comparing to listening to a book? That's impossible. I can listen to it almost one sentence, then my brain's like, whoo, somewhere else. I mean, reading is extremely hard to focus on it, especially more harder since my stroke. But every night when I go to bed, I'm trying to read one page at least or so. But it's really hard. So I don't read.
See, it's funny that. All right, I would say I don't read either, but that's mostly I just don't have. I don't put the time in it. I play games. I play a lot of games.
Yeah. Ooh, you're wasting so much time. You have a life to live also.
The thing is, I love games, so for me, it's very enjoyable. It is the way I relax. But I also play games with
time
friends.
up now. I'm talking to a game. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, no, but when people say they don't read, what they're saying is they don't read novels. You read every single day, constantly, and that's the thing that I think is.
And
it's an
it's
interesting
kind of
distinction.
stupid that I do when I'm going to bed, because then we are tired.
This is true. It is. It's a good way to make you go to sleep.
But I mean, a book. It's good for your economy. I mean, one book lasts for like 9 months, which means very cheap.
It's true. It's a very good value. Last question: glass half full or half empty?
No, I mean, this one probably looks like half full, but it is full.
Always full.
Otherwise, I mean, it is full of something. It's water and oxygen, air. No, but always half full.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Jonas, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna have to practice. I'm gonna have to sort of practice that.
No, I'm trying to give it back to you. Rese.
You know, it's funny, right? So my name, you know, and everyone in it, we talked a little bit about this before. The different sounds in different cultures are different. So Reese, for a lot of Western, fine. When it comes to Eastern, it starts to become more tricky. So some people call me Ricky, some people call me Reach. So I feel a little bit of that pain, but it's very rare because I don't interact with too many people outside of the Western world. So yes, names, the joys of names. So Jonas, thank you very much.
But it's good icebreaker. Yeah. Sort of when it's like, oh, you don't really say Jonas correctly.
Well, thank you very much. This has been a wonderful, wonderful chat. I've had a great time, and I look forward to seeing you at the next conference that you will be at.
Yeah, it will be in Baltic Summit in September.
All right. I will not be at that one, unfortunately. The next thing I'm going to is South Coast Summit. So I will see you when I see you. Thank you very much, and good night.
Take care.